Welcome everybody to a great Wealthy Winning Wednesday. And today we have for you two books we're going to be looking at. Our awesome Blue Ocean strategy that we've been going through for the past few sessions. Today we're going to be on session 5, which is also chapter 5. And that is all about non-customers, which might sound kind of weird to look for non-customers, but that is the whole point, right, of building your business. We also have another great book, Innovation by Design. This is from Thomas Lockwood and Edgar Papke. Hopefully you can see that there. A really fabulous book about thinking about your business differently. So we'll talk about both of those today, but mostly we will be focusing on the Blue Ocean strategy, reaching beyond existing demand with non-customers. Okay, everybody, welcome. Thanks for joining us today. We also have some videos, but who's ready to get started? I'm so excited to share with you all this awesome information. Wait till you see the orchestra. We're going to have some live music today. Yes, that's right. Going to have a little fun and be innovative in the process. Be the boss and dominate your market. Today is the 5th of 8 sessions, real estate brokerages that innovate, differentiate, and capture unique market share with Blue Ocean strategy success. Welcome. Please let us know where you're joining us from. Welcome to your future. The future of your business is bright because you're innovative. You're going to get out in front of the wave. Instead of being behind the wave, we're going to be in front of it, capturing demand from new non-customers. Again, today is the innovation session number 5, reach beyond existing demand. We have gone through creating Blue Ocean strategies, analytical tools and framework, reconstructing market boundaries, focusing on the big picture, and today is reaching beyond existing demand, which is one of the main keys of a Blue Ocean strategy innovation. Everybody, I think you know about me by now. And I am certified to teach the Blue Ocean strategy, which is a copyrighted concept, term, book, and all of that. So today's presentation, we're going to start by challenging conventional practices. And then we're going to explore the 3 tiers of non-customers and go for the biggest catchment or the biggest prize when you're fishing out there in the ocean, right? And then our example of a client capability level is something that I created. It's my proprietary brainstorming. We'll take a look at that. And lastly, innovation by design from the book by the same name. So who's ready to get started? Woohoo! Another Wealthy Winning Wednesday. Let's start off with our Blue Ocean of challenging conventional practices. What does that mean? Well, we've been learning about red ocean. Red ocean is where all the competitors reside in the market, and they're all fighting head to head. They're trying to blow each other out of the water. They're focusing on each other's customers and trying to grab customers from each other. And the result is the prices go down, the values of services go down. Every company is struggling to survive, and there's few winners. Every day is a struggle. It's a fight. It's a battle, right? So what we want to do is hoist up the anchor and sail away out into the blue ocean where the waters are calm and peaceful and there aren't any competitors around. But we do need to make sure that we are not getting stuck on a sandbar, that we are truly sailing into deep, uncharted waters. And we're going to have a map with us and, of course, a compass. And that is our Blue Ocean strategy. In a conventional real estate business, what does everybody do? All the competitors, they focus on 2 things. They focus on existing customers. How do we serve existing customers? How do we serve those customers better or more? And the second thing is, how do we segment that market even more? Instead of saying our customers are anybody who wants to buy real estate, we could say our customers are millennials who are first-time home buyers in a specific neighborhood. Or we could say our customers are retiring people or probate or estate. So every round, the competitors get finer and finer segmentation to try to accommodate those buyer differences, or should we say customer differences between them. And that is the red ocean where everybody is fighting for a piece of the action. And there they are, firing their cannons on each other, trying to blow each other out of the water. Unfortunately, results in deaths of businesses, and that ocean just keeps getting red and bloodier. And then Jaws comes out and circles around. So instead of looking to the current customers and competing with all of our competitors for that, we want to look at non-customers. What are non-customers? We're going to find that out in just a few minutes. What we want to do is, in the non-customer base, we want to build on powerful commonalities that these customers value. Commonalities are things that they all have in common, whether they're current customers, customers about to leave the industry, or customers who have never thought of the industry before. By doing this, we can convert non-customers of the industry into new demand instead of fighting for our competitors over the existing demand. So one example is the Big Bertha golf clubs. Now, before these golf clubs were introduced in the market, people that played golf had a difficult time hitting the ball with that teeny little golf club head. They had to practice, they had to take golf lessons, and many others were turned off by golf. They instead played tennis or other sports because they thought golf was too complex and too difficult. Well, the introduction of the Big Bertha golf clubs, it was a lot easier to hit a golf ball because you have the big golf head. It's nice and wide. It's easy. It makes the game of golf fun. So as a result, golfers who were hobbyists decided that it would be easier and more fun. And so they started buying Big Bertha golf clubs. And they reached into the non-customer base. In other words, people who had never played decided it was a good time to learn. And this is an example of how they look beyond existing demand to non-customers. And as a result, we know that Big Bertha was a huge runaway success story as a business and took the industry by storm, which nobody had expected. They created their own blue ocean. They saw something that others didn't see. They tapped into a demand that existed that others failed to recognize. We have a little case study for you. Our case study is an orchestra. It might not seem like it relates to real estate, which it doesn't, but I think as you watch it, your mind will be a little open to the creative aspects of thinking outside the box. So I have some videos we're going to play. The first one is a regular, fancy, formal orchestra. And here we see everybody is dressed in their nicest, finest formal tuxedo. And the women are wearing their formal dresses. And we see the back of the conductor. Everybody is organized, nice and neat. This is an extremely formal setting with a highly trained orchestra. And music that is not popular as top 40 music. What does an orchestra consist of? Well, we're going to call it a red ocean because this Beethoven 9 Chicago Symphony Orchestra does what all the other orchestras do. They wear formal attire. They have a famous conductor, and everybody Claps for him when he comes on stage. This is an exclusive elite event. And the music is not understandable by everybody. It's not music for the masses. It's for this exclusive group. Children are not allowed to attend. This is adults only. It's very expensive. In other words, it's designated for the elite, and we know it because the expense tells us so. This is not something that people are going to go to and enjoy with their families every day. Everybody got to see and hear the music from the symphony in Chicago with the famous conductor. We understand that orchestra is something not meant for the masses. It's very formal and exclusive. And of course, we didn't see any children there, and we know the orchestra is very expensive. So what does this have to do with Blue Ocean? We're going to next study somebody who created a blue ocean. He went outside the norms of the industry. He did things that were unconventional, and he brought a new market in. His name is Andre Rieu. Here you see him pictured with a little 3-year-old. His name is Akeem Kamara. Everybody is dressed in a costume. They have a theme. And in this case, he brings a 3-year-old child prodigy violin player on the stage, which is quite unusual, something you would not expect in a traditional Red Ocean orchestra. I'm going to play for you a couple of his videos.
Give them an enormous applause, the Platin Tenors!
That was pretty fun, right? The audience singing along. Notice they had costumes. They had a lot of fun. They had high energy. They sang a song that was familiar to the audience, so a lot of them are singing along. They're smiling. Notice the outdoor atmosphere. We're not in a formal place. This is more informal. And notice how people are dressed. The musicians are dressed in fancy attire. They're wearing more of a costumes. There's a theme. People in the audience are dressed a little more informal. This is completely different. Now, you know what people said about Andre when he started his innovative type of orchestra? They said, "You're never going to succeed." They said, "This is stupid because this is not our industry. This is not true orchestra. This is not traditional." And his point is exactly, this is not traditional. I'm doing something different that people want and need. So as you saw in there were costumes and themes. I'm going to show you another one. This is a Christmas in London. People are actually dancing. They're drinking hot cocoa. The audience gets involved. It's in a public location. We notice there's familiar music. The audience is singing along. The last video clip I'm going to show you has Akeem Kamara with he's a 3-year-old guest violinist, and he's just darling. But you can agree that in a formal orchestra, that would never happen. The prices are very low and affordable because Andre is targeting the masses, the everyday people, and they show up. Everything that he does is sold out. Okay, so let's take a look at another video. This one is called Christmas in London. Hey, what did you notice? There's a theme. The musicians are wearing clothing that reflects the theme, their costumes. They walk through the crowd. They wave to everybody. The venue is more of a public place. People are eating. They're having fun. There's high energy. The conductor orders hot chocolate and then gets behind the bar and serves it to everyone. And then the attendees are dressed in casual clothes. So this is definitely not your typical orchestra. I want to show you a couple more really quick. This one is Mary Poppins. It's pretty cute, and so as you saw, that was completely innovative for an orchestra. Mary Poppins shows up out of the sky, floats in, dances around, sings, and it's not a formal stuffy song. It's a song that everybody knows. In the audience, they're clapping along, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. They're singing, they're having fun. Okay, last video, the 3-year-old violinist. If you can get a minute, go to YouTube, watch all of the videos. Really, really amazing. I think it will inspire you in real estate to start thinking about what we can do different instead of copying what everybody else does, what's traditional, what's expected of us, what's always been done for generation after generation, what our competitors are doing or what we think they're doing, and focusing on being better and faster and lower priced with our existing customers or segmenting our customers. Instead of all of that, let's think of innovation. Where is existing demand in the market that we haven't yet captured? Who are our non-customers that we can reach? So we saw something innovative in the orchestra. That was a sort of a fun little case study there. Now let's dive into one of the blue ocean concepts, the one that is the crux of today's session, and that is the 3 tiers of non-customers. We're going to unlock latent demand. In other words, there is a lot of demand in the market, but we don't know what it is because we're just focused on doing the same thing we've always done. So we're going to unlock those non-customers and convert that latent demand to real demand that we can capitalize on, that we can profit from, and additional ways to serve people. As the Blue Ocean Strategy book says, we're going to deepen our understanding of the universe of non-customers. Right now, we're focused on this teeny little portion, this teeny little pie, and there's a whole universe out there that we haven't even thought about. And this is an example of it. This is what we call the 3 tiers of non-customers. Let me turn on my whiteboard here. This is our current market. Our current market are the people that we currently serve. Those are buyers and sellers who are currently buying and selling their houses, and we do transactions. This is the soon-to-be non-customers because they are on the cusp of the market, waiting to jump ship, waiting for something else better to come along so they don't have to use your products and services anymore. Now, I believe there are some big corporations that are trying to capture that market, and some real estate agents and brokerage owners are very upset, saying they're taking business away from you. Well, if they're taking business away from you, maybe those customers never were loyal to you because you didn't offer what they wanted and needed. So our job is to find out why they're about to jump ship on you. The tier 2 is refusing. Those are customers who are aware of you. They know you're in the market. They're aware of the industry, and they purposely, consciously choose against spending their money on these services. And then tier 3 are the unexplored. Those are non-customers that nobody's ever thought of before. We've always just dismissed them as non-customers. They'll never be customers. We shouldn't even think about those. Okay? So those are the 3 tiers of non-customers, and we're going to expand our horizons. Instead of just focusing on the current market, we're going to focus on this whole universe of customers and non-customers. Now, what about buyers? Let's dive in a little deeper here and look at some of these non-customers. We have buyers, sellers, agents. So let's take a look at buyers and use this for an example. And then what you can do is you can apply this all across the spectrum. You can apply this strategy to buyers, sellers, investors, corporate clients, and your agents. So we just did a little sample here. Our current market is pre-approved buyers. We love it when buyers call and say, hey, show me your listing. Are you pre-approved? You bet. I got my 2, 2, and 2, my 2 page stubs, my 2 bank accounts, my 2 tax returns. I've already turned them into the lender. I got my pre-approval in hand. I got my down payment. I'm good to go. That is the market that we're all focused on and we're all fighting for each other on. Moving into the soon-to-be, those are the soon-to-be non-customers. Those are renters who are curious, who might be scared away by our strong-arm tactics of making sure that buyers are pre-approved, they have everything in order, and if not, we don't want to deal with them. We don't even put them on the back burner. We just move on to the next buyer that's pre-approved, and we don't even deal with those. So those are people who are maybe frustrated with our industry. Then we have tier 3, refusing. We'll call those maybe adults or young adults who are mooching off of parents. And in other words, they have free rent, living at home with their parents. So why would they choose to move and buy their own home? They know we're available. They know they can own a home, but they are purposely, consciously making a choice against that. Now let's go to tier 3, that's unexplored. And that is, for example, renters. They have bad credit. They don't have a down payment, and they might not have the 2, 2, and 2 organized in a nice format. Their, as I said, their FICO score might not be in the range that we consider. And so those are people who might be unexplored. non-customers. And they're non-customers because we don't want to deal with them. Nobody else in the industry wants to deal with them either. So therefore, everybody is all focused on the current market, this red market right here, which is the current pre-qualified, pre-approved buyers. Okay. The next question is, how do we look across all these tiers? We'll get to that next. But first, let's just take a moment to look at who they are. Now we have another sample for you, and that is agents. As a real estate brokerage, your job is to bring on agents. Bring on agents that produce and that you can retain, that stay with your company and make you profitable. And everybody is focused on, when I say everybody, all the brokerages are focused on the current pool of licensed real estate agents. So that means if you want a new agent in your company, who are you targeting? Well, you're going to your competitors and you're targeting their agents, right? So everybody's trying to steal each other's agents because we're all focused on the same market of current licensed producing agents. As a matter of fact, we go into the MLS and we pull down reports and show what, categorize the agents by their production, and we focus on those with the high production, right? Because we want them to come join our company. So what would the tier one be? In this case, the tier one, soon to be non-customers, could be those getting licensed, right? They're right there on the cusp. Those who are refusing to be agents are those who are, say they're salespeople, but they're in another industry besides real estate. They don't see themselves as a real estate agent. Maybe they're an insurance agent or, car salesperson, or some other industry not related to real estate. And then tier three are unexplored. What that means is they're in a totally different realm as far as real estate sales. And I used for my example here, they're not employed. So typically we would dismiss people who are not employed and say, well, they're not a salesperson somewhere else. They're not in the real estate industry. Why would I want them as a real estate agent? They might be not employed because they're a full-time student. They might be enjoying retirement. They may have lost their job. It might be a mom who's thinking of going back to work when her children are old enough for school. So there could be many reasons why people are not employed currently. And those are what I would call the tier three, the unexplored market, because we typically don't think of them as real estate agents that we can recruit to our brokerage. Okay, I hope this makes sense for everybody. So we gave you two samples of the tiers. We gave you real estate buyers who are consumers, and then we gave you agents that you want to recruit. Now, how do we put all of this together? How does this apply to the real estate industry? I suggest you make a tier chart for yourself. Make one for agents, buyers, sellers, investors, and different types of corporate accounts that you're trying to pursue, maximum of 2 corporate niches. And then look through each of these tiers to find commonalities. What do they all have in common? Not what makes them different, but what are they looking for that they all have in common? For real estate agents, maybe they all have in common that they want a source of income. They want a flexible career. They want to serve and help people and get satisfaction from that. So for real estate industry, that might be the commonalities across all of the tiers of non-customers. And so instead of honing in and saying, we only want top producers who are selling 30 plus houses per year, broaden your perspective. What about those in the commercial real estate industry? What about those in property management? What about those in other areas of real estate? So think outside the traditional box, be innovative. And then, of course, buyers, sellers, investors, corporate accounts. How can we diagram that out and figure out who the non-customers are? So the biggest catchment is what we're looking for. I typically think of a pie, right? So here we've got a pie in the red ocean mindset. Everybody is focused on that same piece of pie. I should say on the same pie. And they're either focused on their competitive advantage, in other words, making their piece of the pie better, or increasing their share of existing market space, in other words, getting a bigger piece of the pie, or further segmenting it by defining it and going after a very narrow market niche. And that is what we don't want to do. That's the red ocean mindset. Whereas a blue ocean mindset, we're not focused on a specific tier of, this specific type of customers. We're going to look across all three tiers, current customers as well as soon to be non-customers, and those who are consciously choosing against our industry, and those who have never thought of our industry. And we're going to look for overlapping commonalities. And as the Blue Ocean Strategy authors say, our job is to expand the scope of latent demand you can unleash. In other words, we're not just focused on current demand, but what demand is there below the surface that hasn't yet been identified that we can unleash and be massively powerful and profitable. So your job is to make a value innovation move. And you're going to do that by maximizing the scale of your blue ocean, reach beyond existing demand, desegment opportunities, and move to that innovative space before your competitors do, because we know as soon as you figure out what that blue ocean is, your competitors will be right there on your heels. Or if you don't do it, they're going to do it first. And I believe we see that already happening in the marketplace today. So for a real estate example, and this is a little proprietary diagram that I made for myself when I was in my real estate studies program. And we tend to think that all clients want the same thing, or that either that or we tend to segment the opportunities. So here we have first-time home buyers and sellers, repeat buyers, vacation and second home, DIY, do-it-yourself, dabbling investors, and then big corporation investors. And they all have different needs, right? So what is the criteria? Their knowledge of the market values are different, vendor resources, their legal background, understanding of contracts and forms. So there are a lot of differences on the scale between those that need the most help, which are those first-time home buyers and sellers, and those that don't need as much help, the big corporation investors. However, our goal is going to be to look across all of these to see what they have in common that their needs are and wants are. Another thing you could do with this chart is you could use it to decide, say, for example, you want to bring value innovation in the way of technology. Who needs technology the most? Is it the first-time home buyers and sellers, or is it the big corporation investors? So it seems like the first-time home buyers, they need a real person who cares about them to hold their hand, guide them through the process, give them financial advice. They're a little bit shy about having people look at their finances unless it's somebody that they trust. On the other hand, big corporation investors, they're investing at the monetary level, and they're more concerned about their return on investment and the unemotional, the number crunching, the logistics, and most importantly, the profitability. So you go ahead and try this on your strategy canvas for real estate. Over the past few sessions, we've had a sample strategy canvas charting the competitors in the red ocean and then deciding what of those factors that the industry competes on can be eliminated, what factors can be reduced, what can be raised, and what can we create that's brand new that has not been offered in our industry before, right? And this is a sample of a couple of red oceans, and my company's right in the middle, so what do I need to do? I need to do something different, right? So get out your strategy canvas, add the dots on the line, create your own canvas, and begin charting your company's blue ocean strategy. Lastly, we have Innovation by Design, which is this awesome book. We're going to leverage design thinking, produce change, drive new ideas, and deliver meaningful solutions. And that is the crux of this book. So in this book, we go over the 10 attributes, and I'll tell you what they are. We're only going to briefly discuss one of them, but I would encourage you to get the book, get it on audio, get it on Kindle, get the paperback book, as many of those as you want to, and start adjusting your mind, shifting your mind to think differently. So the goal is design thinking at scale, the pull factor, the right problems, culture awareness, which we'll go over in just a minute, curious confrontation, co-creation, open spaces, whole communication, aligned leadership, and most importantly, your purpose. That brings it all together. So the author of the book, Edgar Papke, says, passion is caring deeply about something, whereas purpose is doing something about it. A lot of us have passion for our real estate industry, our business, or our company, serving customers or making money, but the passion cannot drive us unless we're actually taking action and doing something. And that is your purpose, is doing something about your passion, putting it into action. So with the culture awareness, we have to shift our entire company's culture. The innovation that we put in place must align with our culture, and our culture has to be able to respond and support that change, that primary shift. If not, what's going to happen is people will leave, right? We have to have organizational empathy. In other words, be able to relate to other people, experience their emotion, understand how difficult change is, and understand their uncertainties about the whole process of change. And lastly, we have to adopt a learning mentality at our company. That is part of our culture, is that we're constantly learning. Our agents are constantly learning. Our vendors are coming along for the ride and learning with us. We teach our clients the process. So that is the learning mentality. In conclusion, what hidden icebergs lurk below the surface? The water is calm and blue as we sail out to the blue ocean, but we know there will be icebergs, and we have to avoid those by planning very carefully, just like you're doing here today. Today's session was about challenging the conventional practices of going after the same pie that all of our competitors go after. And instead, we're going to look across 3 new tiers that we have previously not explored. Those are non-customers. We're going to go for the biggest catchment. In other words, what do they all have in common, and what are their needs and wants that are not being met by the current marketplace? I showed you an example of my client capability level diagram, and then we looked a little bit about how important it is to design your company purposely for innovation and integrate that into the culture. So again, the 2 books, Blue Ocean Strategy. Make sure you have your copy. Listen on Audible, and Innovation by Design. So take a look at those books. We're at chapter 5 in the Blue Ocean Strategy. Any questions, please post any questions that you may have. We'll be happy to answer them. Today's offer. Okay, we have something special for you today, and that is our Goal Achiever daily planners in bulk for all of your agents, customized with your company name, your company logo on them. How awesome is that? Go ahead and click to select the cover that you'd like. You'll go to our page where we show you what's inside our Goal Achiever, our daily planners, and we help your agents give them a path to get from here to there. After all, that's what agents want from you as a brokerage owner, isn't it? They don't want to just, have a company where they hang their license. They have goals and they want some help achieving them. They can't get there by themselves. That's what they depend on us for. They start at the beginning, and with our guidance, we give them a path. We give them weekly goals, accountability, monthly goals, and then have they met those goals? And then for the year, what are our production goals? What are our profit goals? What are our service goals? All of those are captured in the daily planners we call our Goal Achiever, which is our unique product. Next, we want to start strong in 2019. Yes, we're already into the end of the first quarter, the third month. Can you believe it? We have for you today, for a special rate, normally $590, but today we have $295, our special rate to be able to start strong with our masterclass 12-course session. It comes complete with workbooks, online activities, bonus content, resources, and all of that helps you to start up, power up, and scale up your brokerage to have a fabulous 2019 and exceed your expectations. So remember, we do offer consultations. If you need anything, please reach out to us. We help brokerage owners in many different ways. Next time, on our next series, we will be having Drive Profits to the Max, which is all about real estate brokerages, existing brokerages, not starting up, but revving up and pushing the needle to profitability and success. Again, my contact info, if you need anything, please let me know. We're here to help you. Once again, thank you for joining us today for this awesome session of Blue Ocean Strategy. Be the boss and dominate your market. You can be a real estate brokerage that innovates, differentiates, and captures unique market share with Blue Ocean Strategy success and the tools that we're providing for you. Thank you, everybody, for joining in today. Irene says, thank you. You're welcome. We hope you enjoyed today's session. Stay tuned next week. Next week, we have a great session from Blue Ocean Strategy, one of the most important sessions. And this session is all about getting the strategic sequence right. So this is quite a lengthy session. We're going to be diving in very deep, and we have a little worksheet here. It's called the Buyer Utility Map. And we'll be diving into that. So come with your brain power next week. Until then, everybody have a great week. Okay, bye, everybody. Talk to you soon.